Well, I drove dirt track racing, like when I was coming through the ranks, I started, in stock cars locally, half-mile tracks, and then, got into midgets and sprint cars, and then the dirt, the champ cars, which were going for the national championship. You had dirt track race. I mean, 1969, in fact, just to give an example, that championship, I won races on the dirt. I even won Pikes Peak with a dirt track car, and road races, and short oval and super speedway. There was that much versatility in the series, and but I'm probably the only one that has really gone from a dirt track to a Formula One car the same weekend, which I did between the Italian Grand Prix in Monza and the Hoosier 100 in Indianapolis. That was it was in 1970. Trying to think, actually, 1968.
Do you have a preferred? I mean, can you pick a favorite? I hate when people say that about our kids, right? But between Formula One and Indy, was there one you had the most fun in, since you did so many different circuits?
Martin, the fun is to be able to bring back results. That's the ultimate satisfaction, no matter what discipline you're in. For me, it was a great challenge that I just love to deal with, to be able to move around from different cars with different characteristics, and just learn how to really adapt to all those things, nuances, and I love dirt track racing, quite honestly. I think, believe it or not, it helped me even in Formula One, where on the wet races. Why? Because on a dirt track, you change your line. You're always looking for grip because the conditions change, and that's the same thing in the wet. And so, can you believe that? And nobody would ever believe that sort of helped me, in the other disciplines. So everything is somewhat correlated. I always felt that moving around the different disciplines, it widens your dimension to some degree, but there's always something that applies from one side to the other. So, experience is golden, no matter what. As far as our sport, to be able to really understand things, and the biggest thing is to be able to adapt. Because everything just requires a different approach, and a little bit of a different skill factor, and it's about understanding, what that animal wants before it bites you.
You were a young kid when you end up in the U.S. Did you ever have any other vision beyond racing? When did Mario Andretti say, "This is how I'm going to make a living"? When did you know that? At what age?
Martin, I can tell you, we were still in a refugee camp in Italy at age 14, 1954, when I saw my brother Aldo and I, some friends took us to watch the Italian Grand Prix. My idol, Alberto Ascari, was there, and of course Ferrari, Maserati, even the Mercedes was there, in full swing. And from then on, there was no plan B in my life, and had no idea, obviously, what was going to happen. But as a young lad, you're allowed to dream, and that's what has stayed with me. When we came to the States, 2 years after we arrived, Aldo and I and 4 other buddies, we started building a race car to race locally. And in 1959, age 19, I started, and my career was flat out until 1994, and then I raced 4 more times in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and that was it. My last professional race was in the year 2000.
Did your parents ever try and talk you out of it? Did they say, "Oh no, you got to be a doctor, a lawyer," or were they good with it?
My dad, we didn't dare tell my dad that we were racing, because he would have stopped it. I mean, only because it's a natural reaction from parents. In those days, a lot of the news, especially if you're not a race fan, then most news that capture your attention were the the fatalities. And so that's really what my dad would have definitely stopped us, but we didn't dare tell him. We raced the whole full season the first year, and we only found out the very last race of the season where my brother Aldo got hurt pretty badly, actually. So that's how he learned, and he felt some sort of vindication. But we caught hell the following season when he learned that we were racing again. So then he became the biggest fan, obviously, as time went on. When he realized that, that's what it's going to be. There's no way I was going to give up the sport, no matter what.
Did you ever try and talk Michael or Jeff out of doing it? Did you ever say, "Oh no, do something else"?
No. I think all I always said was, make a choice in your life. That's what it should be. And one thing that I try to make the point is, don't think you have to do this, or because maybe I would like to see you do it. But if you're going to do it, do it because you have a passion for it. And if not, just pursue whatever you think you should be pursuing.
What's the different emotion? Now, when you're driving, you're intense, you're locked in, but what about when it's your kids out there? Was it hard for you to watch?
Yeah, it is actually. I didn't realize that until after I came out of the cockpit. And that's when I understood what actually my wife all those years was going through, because on the sidelines, it's a totally different situation. When I was even on the track, on the same track with my own kids, with Mike and Jeff and so forth, you almost feel like you have some control over things. It's not true, but on the sideline, I know what they're up against, and I can never watch the start. Always watch the engineers, if they go, oh, they're smiling. But I'm I always say the proverbial nervous Nelly on the sideline.
When you were at your peak and everyone in the world knew Mario Andretti, did anybody ever recognize you that surprised you? I mean, did presidents walk by or Sinatra? Did anybody ever say, "Hey, what's up, Mario?" And you're like, "Holy crap, they know who I am."
Yeah, it's happened a few times. I don't know if I can pick one out at the moment, but sometime, I figure, well, I'm surprised that, he knows that, that I do something.
And people still say, and I'm talking about husbands and wives, people in their car, if somebody gets a heavy foot on the pedal, they'll say, "Who do you think you are, Mario Andretti?" I mean, you're such a brand, and people will still say, "Slow down, Mario Andretti." They might yell out their window at somebody going down the highway, "Who do you think you are, Mario Andretti?" I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. And then the immigrant kid comes to the US, and you're about as famous as it gets when it comes to racing. Does it ever blow you away?
Oh, it does. I think it's even though, as you say, when they're thinking of that, maybe they're a bit naughty. It's still quite a compliment for me.
Now, and you've had all these great moments, and then Pixar put you in the movie Cars. You got to play yourself. What was that like?
That was kind of neat. It was kind of cute to be asked to do that. I think it's fun when a lot of kids sometimes, when we have autograph sessions or something, and the parents say, "Oh, this is the guy that was in the Cars movie," it's all that sort of this. Kind of cute.
Do you still enjoy watching? Do you watch all the different circuits? Would you watch it
Oh
all?
yes, yeah.
You watch it all?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to stay up on things. And I love all the major disciplines, no question. It's my life, and the fact that also have family involved, all that even makes it that much stronger for me. And we still live and breathe motorsports, no question.